The Every Given Saturday tour is headed to Los Angeles, California, Marina del Rey to be exact, this Thursday. And then I will just motor my way right up to Pasadena on Saturday for USC versus UCLA. And this thing, and I want you to listen closely, is sold out. We got a sellout at the Rose Bowl. And I saw a report that it's going to be the largest student section that they have ever filled at the Rose Bowl for a UCLA game, like over 16,000 students. That's enough kids to pack most arenas and then some. So good on UCLA. I know it doesn't hurt that you're playing your crosstown rivals. I know you guys will travel well from Southern Cal, but this is going to be really fun. So my impression of the Rose Bowl will be that of a sold-out venue, and that's all I'm going to remember. You show me these pictures of open sections 15 minutes before kickoff, won't mean anything to me. I'll see it sold out. Every Given Saturday tour effect. Don't think we didn't have something to do with that. USC clinches the Pac-12 championship berth with a win. They are in the title game if they win. UCLA, they need to win out, and they need Utah to beat Oregon. That game is going to happen after this game. In fact, it'll start while this game's still going on. I am sensing something. You can tell me if you feel it too. I'm sensing people selling on UCLA a little bit, which is understandable. They just lost to Arizona, right? This is why we always preach, on this show at least, judge performances. Judge teams on that day. Don't judge teams by record. If you were to not watch UCLA Arizona and you just saw the final score, you would say, wow, UCLA lost at home to a sub-500 team, which is all true. I watched the game. Arizona played exceptional football. UCLA did not play a bad brand of football, is what I'm trying to tell you. So I watched it and I said, that's got a lot more to do with Arizona than UCLA. Good for them. It's just a win. That's what it was. It was a really good football game and it was a win. Well, some folks can't leave it at that. And so some folks had to say, they're done. They're not done at all. I mean, they're a 2.5-point dog against USC with a chance to still play for a Pac-12 championship. That's what they are. And so I'm not selling on them at all. They played a very high-level quarterback last week. They will again this week. So let's dive into the matchup a little bit, because what I don't want you to forget, lost in all the noise of UCLA getting upset last week, is USC drummed Colorado. They lost Travis Dye for the season, and he was well on his way to another 1,000-yard rushing season, probably 1,100 or 1,200 if they went to the Pac-12 title game and a Rose Bowl game or a playoff. Who knows? And so they lost him, and I'm looking at Austin Jones now. He's carried the ball 52 times this year. He's averaging over 6 yards per carry. It's just been in a lot more limited action, and they're going to need him. They're going to need him big time, because as you dive into the matchup a little bit here, there's one side of this equation that really heavily leans toward UCLA. You got to dive a little bit, though. So explosive plays in general, I think, will decide this. Sometimes it's third down. Sometimes it's turnover. Sometimes, you know, it's a specific position grouping versus another specific position grouping. I think the explosive play metric is one that is talked about a lot, 20-plus yard game on a play. UCLA, where are they at right now? They're second in the Pac-12 in that category, seventh in college football. USC, first in the Pac-12 in explosive plays per game. They are fifth in FBS. Both of them way up there. So you would think, number one, that screams a lot of points, and it probably does. But as you dig a little bit more into the defensive side of things here, that's where UCLA has a shot now. If they play up to their statistical profile against explosive plays, they are eighth fewest nationally, not just in the Pac-12. They've allowed the eighth fewest 20-plus yard plays nationally. And the thing about leaning on the chunk play is we've seen it a couple times with USC this year. When you can't get it, your offense can grind to a halt. Think about the Oregon State game earlier this year, for example. You turn it on, and it's like, Colin, can you show me USC's schedule? I know it was a low-scoring game. I can't remember exactly how low-scoring. But you turn that thing on, and you think, well, USC's got all this firepower offensively. How in the world are they sitting here, and it's a 17-14 game? Oregon State led that thing 14-10 or 14-7 late. Well, the reason is because you're not getting those chunk plays. And that's how easily your production can fall off a cliff. So if UCLA can just hold up their end of the statistical profile bargain there, that's a big deal. Here's how USC flips the script, even if all that plays out according to plan, and that is obviously turnovers. We haven't spoken about it recently because it's just become a familiar theme with USC. You kind of take it for granted. But they still lead FBS in turnover margin. They're plus 17. So you can do all you want to in the category of limiting explosive plays, and you can record a few yourself. You get down in the red zone, you turn the ball over, USC ends up plus 2, plus 3, doesn't matter. You're still going to lose the game. Let's take a look at what the model thinks. The Vegas number right now is USC minus 2.5. For the record, I think the Trojans were still going to be a slight favorite even if UCLA won last week against Arizona. I don't think it tilted the line all that much. Our model is at a pick. We think with home field factored in for UCLA, and also they're in wounded animal mode now. UCLA is. Got to win this thing. We think that it's a pick. I'm telling you where I'm leaning here, and I made the decision about 5 minutes ago. Somehow I think UCLA is going to find a way to win this game. When you look at the teams they've already played Oregon. They've already played Utah and beat Utah. USC played them and lost. Now one was on the road, one was at home. I think that UCLA group's a tad bit more battle-tested than Southern Cal. I think they're in a more desperate position than Southern Cal. I think they match up well along the lines of scrimmage. And I do like that defense can somewhat limit the big play. Right now, the odds to win the Pac-12 championship, USC is the favorite, but Oregon's right there with them, and Utah's right there with them. So it's basically a three-way tie, plus 200, and then a couple of them at plus 210. And then you fall off a cliff. UCLA's all the way down at plus 1,000. That would move significantly, obviously, if UCLA and Utah both win this Saturday. So it's not that strong of a feel, but I'm going to lean UCLA to win it, and I'll take the points if you want to offer me the points. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Make sure you like the video, and please subscribe to the channel. Not just for me. That's how we keep this entire thing free.